Watch a striker operating at absolute peak capacity, and the appeal of modern football's obsession with superstars is obvious. This chart tracks Kylian Mbappe's production at Real Madrid. He delivered 44 goals in 2024-25 and 41 goals in 2025-26, securing back-to-back Player of the Season awards. Zooming out, this vertical production dwarfs the output of nearly every other forward in La Liga. He arrived in his mid-20s, holding universally recognized generational talent, and signed without a transfer fee. On paper, it looked like the most flawless acquisition in the sport's history. For a club with Madrid's pedigree, those inputs point to exactly one logical outcome: capturing another European Cup. But the reality of the next 2 seasons dismantled that assumption entirely. This graphic of Madrid's trophy cabinet visualizes the actual team outcomes: 0 La Liga titles, 0 Champions Leagues, and worse, staggering defeats, a 1-5 aggregate elimination by Arsenal, alongside 0-4 and 2-5 domestic thrashings by Barcelona. When the rising line of individual scoring crosses the falling line of team success, we see 2 different versions of the same club operating at once. The addition of the world's most prolific scorer resulted in a net loss for the team's overall performance. Before the transfer, Real Madrid already possessed a highly calibrated offensive ecosystem. Look at this tactical pitch map detailing the team's attack zones. Mbappé and Vinicius Jr. operate optimally in the exact same spaces on the left wing. They both demand the ball in identical areas. As the map animates, the structural failure becomes clear. The left side becomes entirely congested, causing passing sequences to break down, while players on the right flank are left completely isolated. Vinicius, an established star carrying his own massive production value, refused to concede his territory. The resulting friction paralyzed the team's chemistry. Supporters quickly noticed the pattern. Mbappe's goals accumulated heavily against mid-table domestic opponents, but in critical, high-leverage fixtures like El Clasico, the production vanished. Stacking players with overlapping skill sets doesn't double an attacking threat. It forces them to compete against each other for the same resources. This exact structural flaw had already surfaced outside of professional club football. The French national team designed their tactical identity entirely around servicing Mbappé, resulting in the same congested, predictable patterns of play that led to early tournament exits. Spain took the exact opposite approach. They prioritized structural cohesion and positional discipline over individual fame. That philosophy allowed players like 16-year-old Lamine Yamal to thrive, functioning as a highly efficient piece of a much larger machine. This radar chart compares the 2 strategies. France relied on a highly skewed, single-point offensive structure. Spain utilized a balanced, multi-node system that distributed the threat evenly across the pitch. The international results confirmed the data. A synchronized, cohesive unit reliably neutralizes an isolated superstar. Back in the Spanish capital, the frustration spilled from the pitch into the stands of the Santiago Bernabeu. Behind the scenes, Madrid executives reached an inflection point, pushing to sell either Vinicius or Mbappé, simply because the math of their partnership proved unworkable. The tension peaked when Mbappé, facing a benching in El Clasico, abruptly left training citing discomfort, a move widely interpreted by supporters as dodging the demotion. The relationship deteriorated so thoroughly that Mbappé expressed a desire to avoid home matches entirely, hoping to escape the relentless booing from his own fans. The institutional damage swept through the managerial staff, forcing Carlo Ancelotti's exit and the rapid appointment of Xabi Alonso to stabilize a fractured locker room. The Galactico model, the assumption that purchasing the sport's biggest names automatically collects trophies, failed when confronted with modern tactical demands. Modern tactical systems are tightly interwoven. You can't treat a starting 11 like a video game lineup. Individual brilliance, stripped of collective sacrifice, is merely a statistical exhibition. As Mbappé himself realized, is it worth scoring 50 goals if you don't win?